Welcome to WeLearn Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 16, Issues in Conflict and Cooperation in Indian Federalism. Topics which we are going to cover in this session are Federalism and Centralization, Role of Governor, Use of Emergency Powers, Financial Relations, Use of Electronic Media, Demand for Autonomy and Cooperation. The first topic is Federalism and Centralization. The political elite, which inherited power after independence, was much in favor of a strong center, strong enough not only to implement center's policy but also to maintain the national elite position as definitely superior. The fact of one party in power, both at the center and in almost all states, help in this augmentation. Next is centralization. The main justification provided for centralization at the center was that with the experience of partition to maintain the unity and integrity of the country, a strong center was necessary. The center developed the role of a Pitarch, controlling the ruling the states through part chief ministers. At times, some of the Union's extraordinary powers, like imposition of President's rule under Act 356, were used to settle intra-party problems. Center became superior in all domains. It felt free to hold up its sanction to the state's project. It became a monitor of the law and order situation in the states. It started assessing a right to veto state bills. It dismissed state government as and when it so wanted. It distributed grants to states at will. Next is changing environment. The system of center's predomination and process of centralization worked without much difficulty or opposition till there was one party's rule at the center, and in almost all the states and Congress was controlled by the set of leaders who, because of their role in the freedom struggle, were respected as national leaders. The charismatic leaders started disappearing from the scene. The planned development's failure to fulfill people's aspiration started becoming clear. They had emerged a powerful middle class with varying political ambitions and conflicting economic interests. The Congress started losing its image as a nationalist movement. In addition to the so-called national parties becoming faction-ridden, there also emerged new regional parties. In 1967 general elections, Congress not only became weak at the central level but also did get the majority part of 8 states. To begin with, debate on Union-state relation was limited. By 1972, the Congress Party and the Union government regained their predominance. The central government adopted increasingly interventionist practice in the states. The central government has caused some major tension areas in Union-state relations. Role of governor, imposition of president rules, reservation of bills for the consideration of the president, sharing of finance and use of electronic media. So coming towards the role of governor. Governor has been described as the linchpin of constitutional apparatus of the state, having key role in union-state relations. The Constitution empowered the center to appoint governors in state to work as center representatives and to maintain coordination between center and the state. However, in practice, the position and role of the governor has become a substantial issue of tension between the center and the state. Next is the appointment of governor. The starting point of tension between union government and state with regard to office of governor is that center appoints a governor as if he or she was just a representative of the center in the state. To make sure that governor act on behalf of the central government, the trend of appointing governor after consulting state chief minister has also been relegated. At present, there are some pressures for following this tradition on consulting the chief minister before appointing the governor of the states. Next is the discretionary power of. The second matter is with regard to making a report to the President under Article 356 about his satisfaction that a situation has arisen in which the government of state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provision of Constitution, thereby recommending the imposition of President's rule. The issue of proclamation of President rule itself has become a matter of serious tension between union and state governments. Next is the reservation of bills for consideration of President. Article 200 of the Constitution provides that certain types of bill passed by the state legislature may be reserved by the governor for consideration of the President. The President may either give his assent or may direct the governor to send it back for reconsideration by the state legislature along with his comments. The main purpose of this provision is that the center can keep watch on the legislation in the national interest. But governors and through them the central government have used this provision to serve the partisan interest. The opposition ruled states have from time to time raised a hue and cry against the misuse of these provisions. Next is the use of emergency powers. National emergency has been declared twice due to external threats and for internal law and order situation once. The rule issue of tension between the center and the state has become emergency under Article 356 and gives center power to dismiss a state government on the ground of failure of constitutional machinery in the states. Next is the emergency under Article 356. Article 356 as such gives extensive powers to the union government to interfere in the working of the state government. It has been suggested that provision for imposition of president rule in state was made to deal with the serious situation as a life-saving device to be used as neurotic of last resort. The provision, apart from genuine causes of instability of national interest, have been used for dismissing the state governments having majority in the assembly, suspending and dissolving the assemblies on partisan consideration, not giving a chance to the opposition to form government when electoral verdict was indecisive. Next are the conflicts over president's rule. The Sarkaria Commission, drawing attention to the repeated abuse of Article 356, was appointed out that during the period from 1951 to 1987 of the 75 occasions when the president rule was imposed, only in 26 cases was president rule inevitable. 18 cases were typical instances of wholesale misuse of Article 356 for political purpose extraneous to one of which the power has been conferred by the Constitution. During 1980s, use of Article 356 was made so frequent that it almost showed an intolerant attitude of the central government towards the non-Congress state government. In Punjab, president rule continued for almost 5 years at a stretch. Article 356 has become the most abused and criticized clause for the Constitution. In spite of the safeguards provided by the 44th Amendment Act, it continued to be so and has become a sore and serious tension areas in center-state relations. The Supreme Court of India on March 11, 1994 in the Bommai case gave a significant judgment on the application and use of Article 356. The Supreme Court unanimously and full theoretically upheld the dismissal of the BJP state government of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Himachal Pradesh in 1992 because their anti-secular action were inconsistent with the secular constitution. In this case, breaking radically with past interpretations of the constitutional provision, the Apes Court laid down new demanding and enforceable standards for the application of the knife against elected state government with a majority and against functioning state assemblies. The Supreme Court's decision thus has placed significant restrictions on the power to proclaim president's rule. Next are the financial relations. The financial dimension of Indian federal polity is also one of the major issues in central state relation. The demand of the states for greater fiscal autonomy has now become one of the most debated issues. The tensions on this arise because of comparative powers of taxation, statutory versus discretionary grants, economic planning. Next are the taxation powers. Sources of revenue of center are relatively elastic and expensive as against those of the states. The center also controls vast resources generated through defect financing, loans and organized money market in the country as well as huge funds of foreign aids. The residuary power of taxation is also vested with the central government. The gap between state revenue and their expenditure has been increasing. Next are the issues and grants. For devolution of funds from the center to the state, there are 4 methods. Obligatory sharing of union taxes on income, permissive sharing of union excise duties, assignments of certain union duties and taxes wholly to the states, provision for giving financial assistance to the state in the form of grants and loans. The provision for Finance Commission was in order to regulate, coordinate and integrate the finances of the Government of India and the state government. The Planning Commission is a completely central institution and is politically influenced, the state have a sense of discrimination in allocation of grants. Center gives grant and aid to state under Article 281 on its discretion for undertaking schemes meeting natural calamities or for removal of disparities, etc. Next is use of electronic media. Electronic media, the radio and TV are most powerful media of publicity and propaganda these days. The world over government and political parties use these for political purpose both positively and negatively. During the 1980s, the opposition parties raised hue and cry against the blatant misuse of All India Radio and Doordarshan for partisan purpose. Next is demand for autonomy and cooperation. The farmers of Indian Constitution hope that federalism in India will be based on consequences and cooperation. They clearly define the power of union and state government and express that emergency powers given to union government will be used rarely in the overall national interest. Right from the beginning, there had been a trend towards centralization and it has continued in spite of changes in government at the center. The state have been developing a feeling of deprivation. Next is the demand for autonomy. Immediately after 1967 elections, in the view of Congress losing power in 8 states, non-Congress government that come to power started questioning the erosion of constitutional provisions with regard to union-state relations. The ruling party at the center began further misusing the office of governor and emergency provisions under Article 356 in order to capture lost power. In 1969, the Tamil Nadu government appointed a committee called Rajkumaran Committee to go into the question of center-state relations. The major recommendations include readjustment of Schedule 7 of the Constitution to transfer residuary power to the state, repeal of Article 249, modification of Finance Commission and Planning Commission, and review of Article 356. In December 1977, the Left Front in West Bengal government published a memorandum on center-state relations. In 1978, the Akali Dal released the revised version of Anandpur Sahib resolution originally adopted in 1973. According to this resolution, centre's authority would be confined only to defence, foreign relations, communications, railway aids and currency. Entire residuary power should be vested in the states. Now the steps toward communication. After 1967 elections, when union-state relations started becoming area of tension and debate, there started academic political exercise. Also to study various aspects of the issues involved, make policy suggestions and efforts to reduce the tension and achieve cooperation. The Commission made some recommendations with regard to the office of Governor and also suggested the need to establish an interstate council under Article 263 of the Constitution. During a short period of Janata Party rule 1977 to 79, through the union government was verbally committed to decentralization, The party leaders showed that if allowed to have their own way, they would rather have or had the same sort of centralized rule. Now, here are some exercises for you based on this session. The questions are: why have the state been demanding autonomy for themselves? And question number 2, what is the role of utility of interstate council? Thank you. Happy learning, we learning.